Welcome to the Oakdale City Council regular meeting, July 12th, 2022. Katie, will you do roll call, please?
Councilmember Ingridson.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Swedberg.
Here.
Councilmember Zavel.
Here.
Mayor Winke.
Here. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first order of business is approval of the agenda. So councilors, the agenda that you have in front of you, does anybody have any questions, comments, or suggestions? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then the meeting or the agenda is approved as presented. Thank you. Next up are the approval of minutes. There's two sets in front of us. First one was from the workshop, City Council workshop on June 28, and then the second set was from the regular meeting on the same day, June 28. So for the workshop meeting minutes, councilors, upon review, were there any questions, suggestions, modifications? Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Is a motion and the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those meeting minutes are approved as presented. Thank you. The second set deals with the regular meeting of the Oakdale City Council, June 28. Upon review, any modifications? Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those meeting minutes are approved as presented. Thank you. Next up on the agenda is a public hearing. This is for a massage therapy premises license request.
No.
No.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Oops.
That got pulled.
Yeah.
Here.
Thank you. Let me retract that.
Yeah.
Are you sure my hair looks okay?
Yeah.
So we have the public hearing, nothing in front of us tonight. Then we have, next on the agenda is open forum. So open forum is time when anybody that's in the audience would like to comment on anything going on in the city. The tradition is to spend about 3 minutes after approaching the podium, stating your name and address. Spend about 3 minutes just sharing with us what's on your mind. So is anybody here that would like to share some thoughts? Seeing none, let's move on to the next item, which is the consensus motions. So in front of us, we have A through H. Councilors, do you want to poll? Does anybody want to poll any of these consensus motions? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve consensus motions A through H as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the consensus motions are approved. Thank you. Next up on the agenda is the piece that we call the advisory boards and commissions. For the people who may be watching, possibly for the first time, this is around how each of us are liaisons with our commissions in the city, and we have several of them. So the first one that we always talk about is the Economic Development Commission. Now in this case, there was no meeting, so there's no report. The second one is the Environmental Management Commission meeting. Likewise, there was no meeting, so no report. The third one was the Planning Commission. Councilor Swedberg is the liaison. In this case, that meeting was canceled. That was done on July 7th. And then Parks and Recreation Commission also had no meeting. And then the one that I'm a liaison to is the Tree Board, and we didn't have a meeting either. So with that said, we're going to move on to the staff reports. And the first one up is our city attorney, Mr. Thompson. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Nothing specific to report.
Councilors, do you have any questions or comments for Jim? Okay, thank you, Jim. Second is the administrator's report. City Administrator Volkers, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do not have a report.
Thank you. Councilors, anything for Chris? Very good, thank you. Next up is our council presentations. I think I'll start down on my left tonight with Mr. Zabel.
Nothing for me.
Ms. Swedberg.
Nothing for me.
Ms. Olson.
Nothing for me.
Mr. Ingebred. Britson.
Nothing for me.
Something, I think there was a THC in the,
No.
it affected my brain.
tonight, Paul.
Oop. Yes,
Can I retract my statement of nothing for me? The age-friendly committee is doing a survey at the Oakdale outdoor market. So they're there 5 or 6 times this summer, gathering data. They're doing a survey, trying to get feedback of things to get, to help make Oakdale a more age-friendly community. So that's what the survey's about. So anyway, you can go to the outdoor market and get your input.
very good, thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
The couple that I have is that, first off, just acknowledging that we had a very good Summerfest. It was a kick to be able to have that again this year with the parade and the food vendors and the concerts and the fireworks and the beer. So I want to say thank you to there's a commission, a Summerfest committee that has worked hard to pull that off, and they did a superb job. So thank you to all those members. And then there's always a lot of volunteers and other staff members. You know, the police were in full support. The firefighters were in full support. And the number of volunteers that have to be coordinated and put together to pull that off so well is just huge. And they did a really nice job. So thank you. We also have a farmer's market coming up tomorrow. This is Wednesday, July 13th. It's in the City Hall parking lot from 2 to 6:30. When you come for that, won't you plan on staying? Because we have our summer concert series at 7 o'clock. This is at the Walton Park Band Shell. The band that'll be playing will be the Squires Band, and they have a variety of dance music, classic rock, polkas, waltzes, and swing. Also coming up here, early August, is our National Night Out. If your neighborhood is planning to host a neighborhood night out gathering, go ahead and check our website, because on that you can request, or there's details about how you can request a visit by the Oakdale Police and Fire Departments. So again, that's coming up on August 2nd. And then finally on July 22nd, we have the movie in the park. So this is at our Walton Park band shell, and the movie on this 22nd is called Incado. Thank you very much. We have our claims in front of us. So from June 25th, 22 to July 8th, 2022, there's a series of claims amounting to $798,996.59. Councilors, after review, did you see anything that you wanted to talk about or have concerns? Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve claims as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then those claims are approved as presented. Now, the next agenda item is pending litigation. And this is the pending litigation about the City of Oakdale versus Tina Voss and the Public Employees Retirement Association of Minnesota. This portion of the meeting will be closed pursuant to Minnesota statutes, Section 13D.05, Subdivision 3B. The grounds for closing it are as follows. The city's need for absolute confidentiality outweighs the purposes served by the open meeting law, in this case based on the following. First, absolute confidentiality is necessary so that the city and legal counsel can have a candid and open discussion to determine the available legal options to handle litigation, including response strategy and the possible areas of reconciliation. Second, the purpose of the closed meeting is not to make a decision behind closed doors, but instead The purpose of the meeting is to determine the legal options for handling litigation. Third, the only business to be discussed is the pending litigation. Fourth, an open session would be detrimental because it may take place in the presence of individuals involved in the litigation. And fifth, a closed session would benefit the public because the ultimate outcome of litigation may impact the finances of the city. So I will now entertain a motion to close this portion of the meeting. Could I have a motion, please?
Do you need the full language, including the
You
statute?
can read the agenda, the one in the agenda.
Yep, okay. I'll make a motion to close session per Minnesota statute 13D.05 subdivision 3B to discuss pending litigation, City of Oakdale versus Tina Voss and Public Employees Retirement Association.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the time is 7:14, and the city council will now go into closed session. Only the city council and authorized city representatives may be in attendance at any portion of this closed session.